Hey everyone, Soundwave84 here in the Transformers Cyberverse review. In this review, take a look at Arcee from the new Bumblebee Cyberverse Adventure series. This is from the Deluxe Cyberverse figures, and it's a build-a-figure where you can build Macadam down here. Arcee comes with the shoulder joints and his hammer. Side art shows you what you can build when you buy all the figures, and the back shows you Arcee, transforms from this to this in 13 steps. Now I have every figure except Hot Rod and Grimlock and then Thunderhowl. I haven't seen him yet. Saw her. I've seen these two. I haven't bought them. Now I can't find Hot Rod anywhere, but Grimlock comes, I believe, in the same case or wave assortment as Arcee, because on the shelf was a bunch of Grimlock, Arcee, I believe Megatron and Shockwave. Side, the Cyberverse art, and there's this stuff here, and we'll just put it aside. Now these are the pieces you get to build a figure. You get the two shoulder joints that just pop on, and then you get the hammer here. And there is Arcee, the figure you actually buy in pretty much this far, and it is a nice looking figure. I don't have any complaints. Now the exaggerations on some of these figures is cartoonish, which this is a cartoon for kids, so it's going to have that effect, and that's sort of how these are animated anyway, so it's kind of got that exaggerated looks to them. So she is a nice looking figure overall from head to toe. Now she does have a bit of a backpack, which pretty much is the entire car on her back, because her whole rest of her just folds underneath. The only part of the vehicle that is actually seen that you see in the remote is the sides of her arms right here, the forearms. That's the only part of vehicle mode that is actually on the robot. Everything else is just a shell. She's pretty much a shell former. It's going to form around her. Also, she has no white. She's all pink, all shades of pink with some blues and grays thrown in. I guess purple lips. I guess you call it purple. I say things are purple. My wife says it's pink. I say things are pink. She says it's purple. I don't know who's colorblind, me or her. But only white on her is around the Autobot symbol here. I kind of wish they did something different a little bit with her face to sort of break up the actual face from the head. Leave this pink and maybe make the face white, but then it'll throw off because there's no white on the rest of the figure. But that's really the only complaint about that. I mean, otherwise it's fine. The purple eyebrows and lips break it up a little bit. Otherwise, the paint on my copy is not bad. Nothing's really too bad. There's a few like little scratches and scuffs on the figure. In certain places you'll see it gets transformed right there too. But otherwise, she's a nice looking figure and very articulated. It's one thing about these deluxe Cyberverse figures, they have a lot more articulation than the regular Cyberverse line was going for. She has shoulder joints there. She has bicep swivels, elbow bends there. She has no wrist swivels though. This is all one molded piece. That's one thing down she doesn't have. Move this back a little bit. She does have a 360 waist articulation. She has no butt. She's hollow butt. She has a swivel here above the knee. Hips are ball jointed out. Back you're not going to get anything because of this unless you move it back and you'll get some. Knee bends are like locked. They kind of tab in to form a stiff leg, but you can bend it to get some bend there. She also has ankle tilts. They're very tight. Every joint, that's what you get there. And it can tilt back, and that's for transformation. And her head can also rotate all the way around with a little up and a little down movement. Now, all the joints in this figure are very tight and very stiff. And I guess she likes things to be stiff, but it gets to the point where I knew she had ankle tilts. You can see on the back of the package, you can see the pins for it. But I was afraid to force it because it was so stiff I might break something. But her joints are all very stiff, very tight. A few comparisons with some of her Cyberverse counterparts in the same line. Here is Bumblebee. They say they scale fairly well. Here's Megatron, Siege Sideswipe, and Titans Returns or Transformer Legends Blur. Maybe if you were trying to slide her in with that kind of collection, in my opinion, she doesn't really match with the main line. She just pretty much sticks into the Cyberverse because of her exaggerated cartoonish proportions or head. Alright, so accessories she comes with her gun, which she can easily just hold in either hand. And you can cross her arms and have this hand come up and peg around that bottom piece there so she can hold in both hands. And she also comes with blast effects. She comes with these two blue, almost like ice, like blast effects. And we'll just peg those on the front of her gun. All of my blast effects are so rubbery. Sometimes they don't look like they're going the same way together, but as the gun with the blast effects. And if you're wondering, yes, they do fit on some Siege and Earthrise weapons as well. So you can mix these in with your Siege or Warfare Cybertron Trilogy Transformers. Alright, so let's transform Arcee into her vehicle mode. First thing you want to do, make sure she has no weapons in her hands. Take those out, remove them. Have her arms straight down to her sides. Like I said, the only part of the robot that will be seen in vehicle mode will be the sides of her forearms here. So first thing you want to do is come to her backpack here. Pull this piece out. Grab this pink piece here. So on separate hinge, you want to pull that all the way out like so. Come back to the front here. This piece behind her head is on tap. Pull it up. Locks in place. Come down to her feet. They're going to fold into the gaps back here. Don't push on this back piece too hard, because mine is stiff. I don't know about yours, but you might end up snapping that plastic. So just make sure you put more even onto the actual foot, so you don't put too much pressure on the back heel spur and snap that off or anything. And you want to grab this whole backpack assembly, bring it up. There's this piece that looks like a T. You want to bring this all the way up and over her head to where she looks like this. Then you want to take her legs. They will fold up to her back. There's these like little tabs back here that kind of hook on the feet. It doesn't really peg in or anything. It's just tabs. This sits over. Then you want to grab this back piece here. There's this piece here. It's on a hinge. You bring this all the way up and lock it in place. Bring this piece up and it'll match right here. And that'll form the front or the whole shell of the car pretty much. So now you want to bring this down. You see there's little notches here on her forms, or these little tabs, like little T's or something. They're going to tab into these little notches. Bring this up like so, and just tap that in, or slide it in. You can see the car forming. Come to the back here. There's some hinge. Bring this out, and so another hinge here. Bring this down. Now, word of warning: when you're going from vehicle back to robot, and you want to push these back up, it does want to apply pressure because it's really stiff to this little bitty bar, this little hinge. It's on this clear blue translucent plastic. It wants to make it wobble, and you might end up snapping that if you apply too much pressure. So just be careful when you're going back to rail mode, even going to vehicle mode, because this one on this side always, this one on this side is tighter. You see there's little tabs here. There's little slots right at the back here above the hands. You'll bring this hinge down and it'll just kind of go right here between her knees. This, and you will end up bringing the car pieces in, tab it all together, and she is transformed into her vehicle mode. Just make sure everything's where it needs to be, and voila. Alright, so with Arcee in her vehicle mode, she does roll extremely well. She zooms really fast, and she does have weapon and blast effect storage. So we'll just show that off real quick. Flip her over, peg right inside there. You take her gun, and this right here will help with the illusion too of hiding the top of her head. As you peg that piece in, now it makes more of a front bumper of the car. It'll help hide her face even more, her head even more. And on the back side, there are these two peg holes. Just peg her blast effects in that, and it's like she's really going. She is really on the move. So she's just driving, and like, look at her go. She is zooming, you know, she's just really going there. So that's cool. Overall, the look of the vehicle, I noticed there's no Autobot insignia or anything anywhere on the vehicle mode. You know, it would usually be on the hood, which is right here, because they kind of fake all this. So you might want to get a Toy Hacks Repro label and slap it on there if you want to. That's up to you. Otherwise, it's very much just like the road mode, very, very pink with some blue translucent plastic, which I always love on vehicles. And it's good to have. It just depends on what's underneath the windshield. This right here is sort of the same like rubber type plastic as the blast effects. And she just have like a blue Tron like stuff on her wheels here. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And gray and then blue headlights. No tail lights are painted, but there are spots here, so I can see some stickers eventually coming for that. And we'll do some comparisons of her in vehicle mode. Here she is next to the same line's Optimus Prime from the Cyberverse Build-A-Figure line. And take out her Blast effects. She is just as big as Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime actually compacts very small into his vehicle mode. So vehicle mode, very much out of whack and out of scale with the rest of the line. Here she is next to the old Thrilling 30, I think it is, or just Generations Arcee. This is the Hasbro version, not the car version. So this one, no, it looks a little different. And it's underneath. It hides the body and everything awfully well. And the gun also has weapon storage in there. And we know the new one coming out for Earthrise underneath is, you know, like this, but to an extreme where, you know, it's even worse, I would say. But yeah, this is a good, I say, updated form for Arcee. You know, this is that. They're very similar still. This one's just more bulky and chunky than this one here. Some overall thoughts on this Arcee figure. It's a nice figure. I'm not going to complain. It's actually a very well put together Arcee. Yes, she does have hollow bits on her in the forearms, the inner thighs, and her butt. But it's a Cyberverse figure. I'm not expecting siege levels, but even War for Cybertron levels, even those are now starting to actually get more hollow than they were eventually, previously in Siege. But it's still a good figure with a great articulation. She poses well, she moves well. The joints are, I would say, tight. I'll say they're slightly overly tight, but I'm glad they're not loose and just flopping all over the place. The paint is applied well, and she looks like a good toy, a good figure. I'm not going to complain about it. It's not G1 Arcee straight up, and it doesn't really fit in with your War for Cybertron figures in my opinion, but still it's a good Arcee figure for people who are fans of Arcee or fans of Cyberverse. I want to say thanks for watching this review, and if you're not a subscriber, please click the subscribe button down below. Also click that thumbs up button, and until the next one, peace out.